I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but Photoshop has a one-click ability to colorize your black and white photos. Is it any good? Let's check it out. Hi everyone and welcome to Pal to Tech. Today we're talking about using artificial intelligence in Photoshop to instantly colorize your black or white photos. If you shoot raw files with your Fujifilm or any brand of camera, you know that you are just capturing sensor data, right? Unlike a JPEG, there's no image really with a raw file. It's just a bunch of data. Post-production software such as Capture One or Adobe Camera Raw can read and convert these raw files into regular image formats such as JPEG. Now, during the raw editing process, you choose a film simulation that gets applied to the raw file. For example, you can make this raw file Provia, or you can make it black and white using the Acros film simulation. Since the software is reading the sensor data in the raw file, it's applying the correct colors, exposure, and detail. Thus, you can go from black and white to color with a quick selection of a setting. However, for JPEG images or printed images that you scan, converting from black and white to color is not as fast or as easy. It usually involves manually adjusting various parts of the image to manually colorize it. Well, the more recent versions of Photoshop now include AI to do this with a single click of a button. Let's see how good it is. My first image here was shot on a Fujifilm X-T2 using the Acros Film Sim. Now keep in mind I'm looking at the raw file of this and not the JPEG. However, when I shot this, I shot both JPEG and RAW. Here's the JPEG file right here. See that? So first I'm going to open up the RAW file and I'm going to use the default Adobe color. Now keep in mind I could easily change this and choose Provia, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the default Adobe color as our comparison. Okay, I've clicked open and there it is. Now I'm going to open up the JPEG. This is the black and white JPEG Acros film simulation. There they are side by side. The official color version from the RAW is on the left and the black and white JPEG straight out of the camera is on the right. Now, one thing that's very important in Photoshop to do before you start this process, or it won't work, is to make sure that your image mode is set to RGB color. See, just like that. If it's not, and it's set to grayscale, it's not going to work. Now, to use the new AI colorizer, what you want to do in Photoshop is go up to where it says filter. You see that right here. Then select Neural Filters. And that takes a minute or so to load. That is actually calling home to Adobe to compare against its database, sort of a gallery that it uses to help make its AI work better. Okay, so it recognized her face. Check it out. You see that? Now go ahead and click Colorize. Have a look at this. You see that? Now, if I zoom in a little bit, it looks like it got a little aggressive with the colorizing the face. You see that right there? Now, there are some options you could make once it's done colorizing using AI. You see these sliders right here? They apply overall adjustments to the entire photo. So for example, if I crank up red like that, it's going to make the entire photo red. The one that really helps, that you'll probably want to use the most, is the one called Color Artifact Reduction. Now, watch the model's face, kind of the mouth area, as I adjust it. Watch this. You see that? It does a lot better once you've adjusted that slider. But we have a problem. Look at the background. You see in the original, it's blue sky reflected off the windows behind her. In the AI version, right, that kind of tripped up the artificial intelligence. It didn't realize that, that's sky, right? It doesn't look like sky to AI. So there is a tool in here to help you. And it's located right up at the top. You see that? And what you do is you click on parts of the image and then it will apply a color that you choose. For example, I'm going to click right here, boom, and I'm going to choose a blue right here, okay, and I click OK. Look at that! Have a look at that! And once you've dialed in a color like I did with the blue that you like, anywhere you click after that will apply that same color. So I'm going to click over here, boom, and there we go. Now, once you're done and you want to save your changes, you have some options. You can go down to Output and choose New Layer or a new layer that's masked, as well as a Smart Filter or just spin up a whole new document. We're going to go ahead and choose New Layer and click OK. And we're back in Photoshop and you can see that it's added a new layer. Watch what happens when I toggle it. You see that? And then you can make further adjustments, particularly if you've created a layer mask. Let's now try what I think this is more meant for, which is an older black and white photo that was shot maybe years ago, that was originally printed, that was scanned, you know, one of those. We want to colorize something from the past, okay? Let's try that now. This photo was taken about 52 years ago, and I can vouch for it because I'm in the photo that it's black and white, okay? Right? And I don't remember the scene, but I'm pretty sure that grass is green and maybe my hair is brown. So let's see what it does. I mean, this is a bad copy. I mean, look at this. You can see the corner is torn right here. This is a perfect demo to see how the colorizing AI can handle it. So we're going to go Filter, Neural Filters, and what happened? Colorize isn't active. You see that? I can't click it. Remember what I told you. You have to go up to Image, Mode, and change it to RGB color. Now let's try it. Okay, Colorize. One click. Here we go. Ew. I don't know about this one. I don't think my dad would have worn yellow and pink pants, one on each leg. I don't know. I mean, it was a long time ago. I don't remember. But look at how it messed up the face. Look at that. Let's try our favorite option here. Color Artifact Reduction. Turning it down. Not great at all. And then the other problem is it looks like it's colorized. You know what I mean? You've got the green in the background kind of just muddy. It's ugh. For example, here I'd like this to be more green, right? But here's the problem. I want to choose the color green. From a usability standpoint, it would have been such a good idea for Adobe to at the very least allow me, once I click in this window, I don't want to pick a color here. I want to hover over here and pick something that's nearby it and kind of blend it in. But I can't do that. If I click there, it just zooms in. It doesn't do anything or zooms out. What I'm going to do is use a little color picker app on the Mac. PCs have the same thing. I'm going to go ahead and select something. Boom, there it is. Grab the value and paste it right in there. Boom. Let's see what happens. Well, it's okay, I guess. I'm not that impressed with this, and I'll tell you why. If you go to deepai.org, they have an open source library that will colorize photos. So if I click on Image, I'm just going to upload this exact same image. And look, I'm going to start over in Photoshop to give it one more chance, and I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to click Colorize. Okay, have a look at this. The photo on the left is Photoshop. I gotta say, I am far more impressed with this open source library, this little free little area of the web that you can go and, you know, colorize your photo. It does a much better job than what Adobe did. Now, to be fair, I have not run this thing through a lot of other photos, and I'm not going to, okay? Because frankly, I don't think it's that accurate. I don't think the colors that it generates are that good, and it's more of a gimmick than anything else. I think it's something that you would use more along the lines to see if a particular photo has potential to be colorized. In other words, from a composition point of view, from a color standpoint, would this photo be worth colorizing and putting forth the effort into doing that? So I think it gives you a nice preview, and it's nice that they built it into the program. Anyway, that's just me. Why don't you try it out? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. I would love to hear your experiences with it. It is pretty neat though, because I do have a memory of my dad's jacket being blue. And seeing it in color, it was cool. I mean, you should try this out. If you have any old photos laying around, I highly recommend it.